Did you know that Intel's market share in the CPU market has plummeted from over 90% just a few years ago to around 60% in 2024? Yeah, it's shocking, right? And it's not just numbers, it's a whole saga of missteps and missed opportunities that have left this tech giant looking a bit, well, embarrassed. Alright, let's talk about Intel. Intel, the most valuable US chip company, has seen its lead slip away in the semiconductor industry due to a series of blunders. In April, Intel reported a 133% year-over-year decline in earnings per share for the first quarter, marking the biggest quarterly loss in the company's history. Revenue also took a significant hit, dropping nearly 36% to $11.7 billion. Intel announced a new wave of layoffs, laying off 17,500 employees, over 15% of its workforce, to reverse the losses in its semiconductor manufacturing division. The bulk of these job cuts are expected to be completed by the end of the year. Intel's market capitalization has plummeted by more than 50% this year, with its shares now trading below $20, a level not seen since 1982. This raises questions about how Intel, which secured $8.5 billion out of the $11 billion allocated by the US government through the CHIPS Act, is still facing declining revenues and staff layoffs. Intel, founded in 1968, is known for its microprocessors, which power personal computers, laptops, servers, and other computing devices. The company diversified its offerings, producing motherboard chipsets, network interface controllers, solid-state drives, and GPUs. The IBM PC in 1981, featuring Intel's x86 microprocessor, solidified its position as the standard for personal computers due to its performance and compatibility. Intel expanded into servers and networking in the 1980s and 1990s, further solidifying its status as a leading tech company. Throughout the 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s, Intel was a dominant force in the CPU market, particularly in high-end personal computers and enterprise servers, and was at the forefront of semiconductor design and manufacturing. Morris Chang, founder of Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, introduced the fabless business model, allowing companies to outsource manufacturing and focus solely on chip design. TSMC and other foundries excelled under this model, benefiting from access to advanced manufacturing technologies. Intel, on the other hand, maintained the integrated device manufacturer (IDM) model, integrating chip design and manufacturing in-house. TSMC's extensive production capacity allows for continuous refinement of manufacturing processes, while Intel viewed emerging chip design startups as threats. TSMC's focus on effective manufacturing allowed it to focus on advancing semiconductor fabrication while reducing costs, while Intel's leadership had to divide their attention between chip design and manufacturing, resulting in challenges in both areas. Apple's first iPhone could have had an Intel chip inside, but the deal never happened due to a disagreement between Apple and Intel. Apple chose Samsung chips for the iPhone in 2007, and later introduced its first homegrown iPhone chip in 2010. Apple shipped hundreds of millions of iPhones within 5 years, and overall smartphone shipments surpassed PC shipments in 2010. ARM-based chips, developed by Apple and Qualcomm, consume less power than Intel's x86 technology, making them more desirable for small devices like smartphones. Apple began placing orders with TSMC to build iPhone chips, which eventually surpassed Intel. By the end of the decade, some benchmarks had faster phone processors rivaling Intel's PC chips for some tasks while consuming far less power. Intel has since lost market share to chips that grew out of the mobile revolution, with Macs now using ARM-based chips and some mainstream Windows laptops with ARM-based chips. Intel's primary market for processors for PCs reached a plateau in the early 2010s, as people no longer eagerly upgraded their PCs and paid less attention to the type of processor inside their devices. However, Intel's other significant market was selling processors for servers used in data centers, which experienced explosive growth during the same period as companies like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud expanded their vast data center networks. As AI emerged, Intel's main chips, CPUs, were not well suited for AI tasks, as they were designed to be versatile and general-purpose workhorses. In the early 2000s, NVIDIA emerged as a leader in the semiconductor industry, focusing on 3D graphics for gaming and multimedia. The debate over CPUs versus GPUs raged, with NVIDIA arguing that GPUs would become integral to deep learning and AI. Intel, a leading player in the industry, struggled in this area due to its technological lag. NVIDIA's GPUs proved superior for AI workloads, as they could process multiple calculations simultaneously. NVIDIA's early commitment to AI and machine learning further fueled its advantage. The company pioneered AI-optimized GPUs and developed CUDA, a parallel computing platform essential in AI research and development. Market dynamics worsened Intel's position, with NVIDIA outpacing Intel in annual revenue, particularly in generative AI. NVIDIA's revenue for fiscal year 2024 reached $60.9 billion, surpassing Intel's $54.2 billion. Intel is still working to reclaim its market position with new products like Gaudi AI processors and the Arc GPU. Recent innovations, such as Lunar Lake chips, aim to boost AI performance and energy efficiency. Despite facing significant hurdles in the GPU and AI sectors, Intel's ongoing efforts to innovate suggest it remains a contender. Bad companies are destroyed by crises. Good companies survive them. Great companies are improved by them. Andy Grove, CEO, Intel. Intel's secretive corporate culture, particularly with private companies, limited external collaborations and partnerships, hindering the flow of diverse ideas and perspectives. In contrast, companies like TSMC embraced a more open and collaborative culture, forming partnerships with research institutions, startups, and other industry players. This open culture allowed for cross-pollination of ideas, fueling innovation. Intel's reluctance to open up impeded its ability to tap into a broader pool of knowledge and ideas. Intel faced significant delays in transitioning to smaller process nodes, particularly for 7 and 10 nanometer nodes, due to complex semiconductor technology and transistor size reduction. This disrupted Intel's product roadmap, giving competitors an advantage. Intel's transparency regarding these setbacks has been lacking, with the company repeatedly citing temporary manufacturing delays without specific technical details, often due to employee non-disclosure agreements. Intel's integration of extreme ultraviolet lithography (EUV) technology into its manufacturing process has been a significant challenge, leading to delays in the adoption of smaller process nodes. Intel initially supported and encouraged about half of the EUV lithography tools at TSMC, but was significantly behind in its adoption compared to TSMC in 2020. This technological gap has placed Intel at a disadvantage, affecting their ability to compete effectively in terms of chip efficiency and performance. Companies like TSMC adopted EUV technology earlier, enabling them to achieve smaller process nodes like 7 nm and 5 nm sooner than Intel. Intel's troubles have been exacerbated by strategic missteps, including a lack of a unified AI product strategy, leadership issues, and slow adaptation to smaller chip architectures. The company has been unable to significantly impact the AI chip market, dominated by NVIDIA and AMD. the federal government intervened with the CHIPS and Science Act, offering Intel up to $19.5 billion in grants and loans to boost US semiconductor manufacturing. However, Intel has announced significant layoffs, affecting 15% of its workforce as part of a restructuring plan. This highlights the ongoing challenges Intel faces in regaining its competitive edge, with its stock falling and revenue projections remaining concerning. The company's struggles are further exacerbated by the global chip shortage and the need for a unified approach to AI. Now that you've heard the story of Intel's dramatic fall from grace, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think went wrong for them? And if you're interested in more insights about the tech industry and what's next for the giants of the field, be sure to check out my other videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going.